Happy Friday, and we are live again for Fireside Fridays. We have a talent acquisition special this week. Really lucky to be joined by Brian Cassidy and Shakira Hannum, two of our senior recruiters on the EMEA talent acquisition team. Brian and Shakira, interestingly, they've got stakeholders all over the world, from America through Europe to APAC, and they touch every part of the Verizon Connect business and recruit into Verizon as well. So I'm really excited to bring them in and hear more about some of the recs that they're working on, right? So what I would say to you is, no matter where you are in the world, we hire talent from wherever to come and join us. In fact, we actively seek out diversity of thought, diversity of everything, right? And what I would say to you is, if you hear anything, if you're a developer or a product person or a UX expert, and you hear something you like, comment below. Ask AMA, ask Brian and Shakira anything you want to know about careers in tech, careers in SaaS within the Verizon Connect business. So I'm going to bring in Shakira and Brian now. There we go. Shakira, just to let you know, you're on mute. Brian, Shakira, welcome. How's it going? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Great to be
Friday.
on the Fireside chat.
Yeah, excited about to hear about everything now.
Yeah. It's not your first time here though, Shakira, right? You hosted alongside Keith our Diversify 22 Fireside Fridays special a few weeks back, right?
Yeah, exactly. But still, always nervous, excited but nervous. That's the best feeling I could describe you.
Oh, love it, love it. Okay, speaking of Diversify though, I mean, what was that now? Must be 5 weeks ago or something to that effect. How did Diversify go? How did you find it?
I think it went very well. Even just kind of like the panels and the speakers and what you've mentioned as well with regards to how it compared to Diversify 2021. It was just very eye opener for me personally, and also to hear about the stories of the likes of Jerry Ordanova and Natalie Williams. It opens my eyes because I'm still relatively new here within the TA team, so it opened my eyes to the whole global Verizon and their initiatives with regards to DNI. So it's been really insightful and it's knowledgeable for me as well. And I'm more excited now. I'm looking forward to Diversify 2023 already.
Already, yeah. I love it. I love it. Thinking ahead. Well, I really enjoyed. I mean, obviously everybody, right? And Jerry was just amazing, and Furkan, of course, the author of Inclusive Intelligence, was phenomenal. Natalie from Verizon, one of our diversity directors, the director of DE&I, who leads up purposeful activities for our ERGs and so on. I thought she was fantastic. She talked about shared responsibility for ensuring that you do have a diverse and inclusive workforce. And she spoke about a really wide breadth of different activities that an organization could have. But the fact that people you got to take ownership at every layer of the organization, right?
Yeah. And even the poll was very interesting. The questions that we asked and what the audience answered as well. One of the poll was talking about is DNI a responsibility for the leaders, and the answers for that. I forgot now what the accurate number is. P, maybe you remember, but again, it's like,
Oh,
wow, it is very important to them.
I'll see if I actually have all of the poll answers saved here, so I'll see if I can dig it up in the background. But what I would say to you is the shared responsibility piece and doing things at every level of the organisation is something we really take seriously. And speaking of Jerry Ordnova, and actually you too, right? You're both part of the diversity working group in Verizon Connect.
Yeah.
And there's something to say about that. What's going on in the diversity working group now? What kind of things are you looking at, and how does it tie into events like Diversify?
Yeah, we are actually covering a lot of areas at the moment. But one thing that I'm excited about for the upcoming one is our reboot program,
Okay.
which is, trying to get is specifically targeted at females who has worked within the engineering industry that's maybe, taken a career break or whatever it may be, and basically to get them back into the workplace. So it's similar to kind of like a program for, let's say, internship, but it's again for an experienced people, females, to come back into their career again, then within the tech field as well.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. It's a good thing to do,
Definitely.
It is, but it's also a smart thing to do too. And what I mean by that is there's a whole cohort of people out there who are experienced and they step out of the workforce for whatever reason. But a lot of women do so to have children. Not all, but a significant proportion of them will do. Why would you not want to bring that talent back to the workforce? It's a no-brainer.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, as a mother myself, I totally resonate with that. And sometimes it is hard to, take care of your family and also having to work at the same time. So anything to give them the opportunity to get back into the careers and the workplace, hopefully that's something that we could be able to provide them and give them the opportunity to do it.
Awesome. So just as a kind of a heads up to anybody who might be out there and curious about the areas you recruit for in Verizon, which organizations within Verizon Connect do you lead TA?
Yes. So I recruit and responsible for 3 areas. So product, experience, and operations. So I suppose product is the actual Verizon Connect product that we do, and the experience team, which is all about the user experience. What do our customers, the users feel, experience, anything from them actually calling us about our variety of products that we have, up to the installations, self-installations, supports, after-sales support, all of that. So it's end to end. And then the operations, then the people in the background who are helping the product experience, engineering team, everybody to run the business. So to do with analytics, BI, data analytics, and project program management, all of that stuff.
Got it. Okay, so we're talking about Erin Cave's group and product, the amazing Donald O'Mahony in experience, and Cassie Larson, who's helping Peter run the business. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Phenomenal. Brian, you are in a very different area. You lead TA efforts for connected devices, right?
Yeah. So it's a very exciting area because it's all kind of ties into the Internet of Things.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really cutting edge area, and I suppose when you look at the Internet of Things, it's only a matter of time. Every day there's more and more things being added to this Internet of Things. Now fridges, light bulbs. I was talking to a friend who's looking to get new blinds put into his house, and he wants them connected up to the Internet of Things so that he can tell Google or Alexa to open the blinds or close the blinds. So it's a really exciting area, and there's so much room for growth in it. So yeah, that's the area that I would recruit for. Specifically, how it would relate to us is the devices that we would be using within vehicles. So that would be the tracking device that we have, and also the dashboard cameras that we have.
Okay.
So I'd be doing a lot of work within connected devices, and within that specifically within the experience team. So the device experience team. So
device experience rather than user experience or customer
yeah,
experience.
device experience.
Yeah.
So what they would specifically look at would be, once you get the device, so you've got it in, how do you go about setting that up? How do you get that integrated into your systems? The installation process. So it takes you from, you're getting the device into your hands. How do you get it up and working, and how do you start using the device? So to take it through that whole process. So that's what that team would look after.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. And I'm thinking about Internet of Things. I mean, it's one thing being at home and having a Raspberry Pi and connecting devices that maybe are relatively static, like my home cinema system to my lights, to my whatever, handheld controller. But we're talking about devices on moving vehicles that are connecting back up via telcos into the platform, and so it's not just the IoT; it's IoT into the core platform.
Yeah,
Mapping
it
and
is.
geo.
It is. Yeah, IoT into the platform, and then into the dashboards and the different products that we'd have. So the connected devices team would be, I guess, providing all this data that all the other products are built on.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing. All right, cool. So look, I mean, it would be remiss of us if we were talking about the businesses that we're supporting, not to talk about the hiring that we're doing for them, right? So Brian, what kind of work are you looking at the moment? What type of talent are
Yeah.
you trying to secure?
Well, loads, any sort of tech talent really, but it's across, a number of different areas. We've got lots of QA roles, lots of developer roles, doing a lot of work around mobile at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, we're looking for some Android developers at the moment. So if there's any senior Android roles out there, or Android developers out there looking for some new positions, I'd definitely be very interested in having a conversation with you and exploring. So I was explaining a little bit more about what we do and find out a little bit about what you do.
Okay.
Thanks. I see you put up the job spec there. So just if we wanted to give a very brief run through of the sort of stuff that we'd be looking for with our Android role.
Okay.
So we've recently moved to Kotlin. So we've moved all the Java code over to Kotlin. So we'd be looking for anyone with a very strong background working with Kotlin. Also, as well, if you got a good background working with agile methodologies, that's the sort of thing that we're looking for, and also a lot of experience with either MVP or MVVM. So that's the architecture that we'd be using. So that's kind of the sort of tech stuff that we'd be looking for. If you want to talk a little bit about this particular role itself, so this would be with the Reveal hardware application. So I'll show you over here what that looks like.
You may need to scroll down a bit when you're looking at that job spec as you're talking through the tech there.
Sorry, there you go. So I can share it. If anyone's interested, drop me a message and I'll happily share it. And again, happy to jump on the phone with anyone and speak through it. But this is kind of the sort of stuff that we're looking for. And yeah, so this app itself that this person will be working on is our Reveal hardware installer app. So this would be once you get the product, once you purchase the product, the box arrives, you got the hardware, how do you get it up and running? So this app would take you through the whole process of getting it up. Here it is here in the Play Store. So it takes you through the process of getting it installed, getting it set up, testing it, and making sure that it's working, that the data is working correctly, that the GPS is working correctly, and then that it ties in, I suppose, setting up the accounts so that they work with your so the different options that we have available, the different platforms. So yeah, it's very cool. We're big move for us at the moment towards moving towards self-install. So making that process as easy as possible. So this person will be coming in doing a lot of work in that area.
Okay, so so I'm a bit of a TA geek, right? So I get really excited when I hear people like yourself talking about these kind of opportunities. One of the first things I notice on the spec is that we're talking about Java, Kotlin, we're talking about API development. There's a lot of hardcore engineering in there. We're not talking about footstep counters here, right? So
no, that's one of the big things that we'd like to see as well, as someone who has experience working on large apps. So yeah, like the amount of data that we've got coming through, it's in the billions. I saw, I can't remember the figure, but it was like 3 or 4 billion messages a day are sent on our app, and that's not the data. That's like the push notifications and that go through our system. So alerts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's huge. The amount of data and the scale of what we have is massive. So yeah, we'd be looking for people with experience working on large scale apps and working on part of teams as well.
Yeah, because you're talking about millions of vehicles and assets that are being tracked, which is phenomenal. So you got not big data, you got gigantic data coming back in, and obviously there's a story behind the scene there. Then with the data products teams and the engineering teams, you're up at petabyte scale, right? So it's big,
It's huge.
it's hard. Yeah. Okay, so That's not necessarily why I'm kind of geeking out, though. I'm geeking out here because you're talking about the application that helps with the experience of installing those devices, those IoT devices, when they get out to the customer. But hang on a minute, there's a bunch of really cool people in the business that are actually designing those experiences, right, Shakira?
Of course. Yeah, so it's basically so the connected devices is led, as Porrick mentioned, Donald Mahoney, who leads the global head of UX team, but Billy Fitzgerald is working and responsible for the connected devices experience side, and he's actually currently recruiting for a UX design manager there. So I have the role up here as well. So basically, I suppose with this design manager role, it's a mix of people management, and also they'll also still be responsible for the design deliverables. However, while our managers do occasionally get involved in the hands-on design, the primary role of this UX manager here is to manage the team and the experience for their areas and responsibilities, and the hands-on design work that a manager engages and it's basically primarily in around the designing strategy or the communications of a larger, more vision-oriented projects. So currently there is about six UX designers within connected devices. So the UX design manager will be responsible to lead them, upskill them, coach them, and again, just basically making sure that these projects are delivered within the agreeable time frame as well. So what am I looking for? Like, what's the ideal candidate here? Like within Verizon, as Brian's working for responsible for the connected devices experience, and I'm responsible for the experience side. It's a cross-functional team. So the ideal candidate definitely needs to have that proven track of record of dealing with different departments, whether it could be engineering, products, or whoever would be responsible in this product project. Another thing as well, definitely that people management experience, of course, the strong proven track of record within the UX deliverables as well, and then SaaS product. Definitely, it's not a requirement, but it definitely would be advantages as you will be working for our web applications and also mobile applications as well.
Okay, that's really interesting. A slight, excuse me, a slight differentiator there between the different types of positions that we recruit for in UX, because you do have differences between designing web experiences or SaaS experiences versus install experiences. So we're absolutely interconnected here, but there's a couple of nuances there as well. That's pretty cool. I think were you going to give us a look at the Reveal platform and maybe the unboxing of a product, Shakira?
Yes, exactly. So I just want to give this I suppose, example just for maybe UX managers out there who are watching this to give you an idea of what is it, what type of, I suppose, design or product. So this is our, like, we'll be responsible for the fleet and the Reveal platform. So it's the fleet management tracking, the solutions, basically everything to do with the actual hardware product as well. So as you can see here, this is like basically the design systems. We already have an established design system within UX, but everything to do just making sure that it is more user friendly and improved when it comes to the I suppose the front end of the software itself for our users. So this is what the experience team are responsible for. As well as UX designers, we do have a variety of teams. We have, I suppose, within the areas itself, we have design operations, connected devices, as mentioned, industrial design, video and design systems. We also have the customer intelligence and insights, and then the field integration. So there are a different number of areas where you will be responsible for different project within the overall product in Verizon. But we also have a team of UX researchers, service designers, UI, content, graphic. We even have localization engineers in place within the experience team. Um, so on the bottom right here, you could see that, from the moment a customer opened the box to reading the pamphlets or the manuals, or how they feel, like what does the box feel like, it's all taken into considerations within the experience team. So that is like important, because as mentioned earlier, our experience team is not only just responsible for the design, but it's responsible from everything from start to end. So this is just an example to give the audience an overview of what they'll be joining in.
Got it. Love it. I think a couple of things really that are really important and worth mentioning across these teams is we have, I mean, you're talking about award-winning products and services here, world-class products and services. You're talking about SaaS at scale, IoT. You're talking about products that are they're driven by AI engines. They've got machine learning involved. Unbelievable. But they're also products that are saving lives every single day of the week, right? Literally every single day of the week. So they're important products out there in the world.
Yeah.
These are things that save businesses, save lives, make a difference in society. So it's nice to have that kind of purpose attached to it. But the teams in there are just phenomenal. When I think about connected devices, Ian Black's team, Francois, Keith, and all of the crew working under them, you've got the best engineers in the world, right?
And one of the really cool things is they don't focus so much on years experience. So it doesn't really matter on the CV if you've got 10 years experience. If they really drive down into technical ability.
Yeah.
So if you've got the technical ability of a senior engineer, you're a senior engineer. And I think that's a really cool thing. I think some places you have to have X number of years to be considered senior. And we really don't take that approach at all.
Yeah. I was talking with John Malanfi asked me to connect with a colleague of ours over in California yesterday evening. So I was chatting with her later in the evening. They were talking with a customer of ours over on the west coast of the USA, and they had some interesting. I must share these with you guys later on, of course, but they had some interesting questions about how we recruit and what we look for engineers. And it was that question of, you're engineers, what's the typical number of years of experience that you recruit for? And I think for the fifth time in a row, and I said, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to be ambiguous, but there's no easy way to answer that. We don't.
We don't do it that way.
Don't do it that way, And but also there's technical reasons for that too, right? When you think about us being cloud native, we're almost 100% in AWS. That's a tech stack and a service stack that has not been around that long. So if you're to go out and just look for a number, 15 years of experience, you won't get it with a lot of the tech. I mean, technology changes at the speed of sound. So we don't hire numbers, we hire human beings. And if you're somebody who's cloud native, well, hey, 4 years of experience, cool, needs to talk to you. You could be the best 4 years in the world. So we don't hire numbers. The other thing,
potential, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and that's an intangible too. So you have to know how to spot that. One of the other things worth mentioning, Shakir, is that I think Donald O'Mahony has both crafted and is recognized for having the best experienced team in Europe, without doubt. Very well known out there in the industry. How do you find it when you're talking to people in places like Dublin, Italy, and further afield? What's the What's the kind of feedback on the street?
Yeah, do you know what? To be honest, I definitely I don't think I've thanked Donal enough because it's such a warmer approach for me. Like when I talk about like, oh yeah, we have this opening here at Verizon Connect, they're like, yes, we know what you do. I know Donal. I've heard him speak at a couple of events previously, so I'm generally aware and familiar with what Verizon Connect does. So it's just kind of like, oh, great, perfect. Well, do you want it? It's just, it's very, I suppose it's great to know that we are there, and we are seen as best of the best as well in the market.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, I suppose, in terms of the likes of Donal, Billy, and Matt, and other senior managers as well, they're very they also have great connections with the people from their social media too, and they're very I suppose, what's the right word, friendly and easy to get on with as well, which is
Yeah.
nicer because again, I'm relatively new here, so I would have been speaking to people who maybe have been interviewed by Verizon Connect maybe 5 years, 4 years ago, and first of all, they know the product already, they know what the interview process looks like, but because of the I suppose the friendliness and the approachable style of the recruitment team and everybody who's involved within the UX recruitment, it's making me easier to actually re-engage with them again.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. The engineering team, people often line up to get involved, and UX is the same. People are constantly staying in touch with us. They take a longitudinal view of careers in Verizon Connect, and I think testament to that is some of the work you've, without going into details, but testament to that is some of the work you've done with our events, and we've done with other events like the Tech Connect engineering events, certainly with the Diversify events, where we stay in touch with people and have done for 9 months at a time, maybe longer, where we might not necessarily have the perfect opportunity at that time. But the moment it comes up, we have that relationship with people. We're engaged. They're engaged with our brand, and I would like to think we do a decent job at getting the employee value proposition out there. So what can you achieve? What can you experience? And interestingly, actually, one of the Fireside Fridays that was just best at describing what happens after you join was our conversation with John Malanfi's chief of staff, Dermot O'Reilly. So anybody out there, you want to know what happens after day one, go back and watch Dermot O'Reilly talk about his career journey. It's second to none. Okay, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. We're at about time. We started a little bit late today, behind the scenes sound gremlins, but what a great show. There's a flavor for just a couple of the positions that we're recruiting for. And as always, doesn't matter where you are in the world. Two of our biggest locations that we secure talent from will be as far away as India and Brazil, for example. One of the great benefits of Verizon Connect is that we will help people relocate. We take the critical skills work permit process, the visa application process very, very seriously, and we support people in their journey through moving from not just a different country, but a different continent, a different hemisphere. It doesn't matter to us. We want to find the best talent, bring you on board, raise the bar right the way across the group. So Brian, Shakir, thanks a million. Happy Friday, and I'll see you both soon.
Thank
Great.
you.
Happy
Have a
Friday,
great Friday.
guys. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, folks, thanks a lot for joining us for this TA special. I hope that's given you a little bit of flavor for a couple of the roles. You see it scrolling on the bottom of the screen there. We're hiring right the way across engineering, product, experience, operations, BI data analytics, sales operations. It's all there. Doesn't matter where you are. comment below, connect with Brian, connect with Shakira. We absolutely want to hear from you, and we are hyper responsive. So when you reach out to us, we're going to talk to you no matter where you are. So other than that, I will say happy Friday again and leave you as always with our Credo video. See you next week.
From where we work to where they live. From our technology to supporting theirs. From each and every one of us to each and every one of them. Everything we do affects everything they do. That's why how we work, what we believe, our values make all the difference.
We share our success with the community
to make the world in which we work better than it was yesterday.
We keep our commitments to each other and our customers.
We know teamwork enables us to serve our customers better and faster.
We focus outward on the customer, not inward.
Our actions produce measurable results.
We run to a crisis, not away.
We are committed to doing the right thing.
This is our credo. Our guide to what really matters. How we stay connected to each other and to them. We are Verizon.